I apologize if I'm a bit of a sweaty mess today, but it is so hot in here. But anyway, this week is going to be another challenge week here on HGTV Handmade, which I know all of you guys always love our challenge weeks. And so the challenge this week is a dollar store challenge. Only we have to make party decor out of the things that we get from the dollar store. So each of us are going to go to our local dollar store, buy a whole bunch of inexpensive supplies, and then show you a party decor DIY. Now, I'll be totally honest with you, when I went shopping, I kinda forgot about the party decor part, so I bought a whole bunch of just random stuff that won't necessarily work for that theme. So it was definitely a challenge coming up with a DIY out of all the random supplies that I came home with. But I think I came up with something really cute, so let's get started. So I decided to make wooden place card holders for a dinner party. Or you could use them for whatever you want, maybe labeling dishes at a potluck, or just holding photos for a fun decoration. So to make them, I'm actually going to use alphabet blocks that I got at the dollar store, fabric paint that I got at the dollar store, a paintbrush I already had, a saw I already had, and a piece of sandpaper that I already had. If you don't have these supplies, you can definitely get a paintbrush and sandpaper from the dollar store, but a saw is something you'll probably want to go to the hardware store for, and you'll probably want to pay a little more than $1 since you don't want to be messing around with cheap versions of tools like that. So these alphabet blocks are the cheapest alphabet blocks I have ever seen. I wanted to make a fun montage spelling out words, but there wasn't even a Y to spell out DIY, so I do not feel bad transforming them. So the first step is to take your saw and just cut a slit into the top of the block. This does take a little while, but just take your time and try to go about a centimeter down so that a piece of paper can stand up in it without flopping over. So when you're done with your cut, just use sandpaper to sand the edges to get rid of any sharp edges. And then to bring a little more visual interest into the mix, I also cut off a few of the corners and sanded those down as well, but that is an optional step. So if you were going to host a baby shower, you could totally just use these as they are and they would be so cute. But I want to make them a little more versatile, so I'm going to paint them. I opened up the white paint that I got from the dollar store, and it is totally transparent. I tried to build up a few layers, but there was just nothing happening. So I kinda cheated, and I used white acrylic paint that I already had, and that worked so much better. I put on a few coats of the white paint to fully cover up the letter graphics, and then I let that dry completely. And then, to give them a little geometry inspired by Meg, I used the pink paint that I got at the dollar store, and I painted on a casual paint-dipped look onto the bottom. This paint was opaque enough. I had to do a few coats and layer it on pretty thick, but it worked in the end. So I let those dry overnight, and then to dress up our place cards a little, I grabbed this fun cupcake tape that I picked up from the dollar store. I cut off a piece and stuck it onto a piece of white cardstock, and then I used a craft knife to cut out the cupcakes. And then I just cut down a piece of black paper, and I used some tape to attach the cupcake, and I used a silver marker to write out the names. And then I just put them into the wooden block placeholders, and I think they look so cute. This would be perfect for maybe a teenager's birthday party, or any kind of party where you're serving cupcakes, which, let's be honest, that's the best kind of party. But let me just break down this entire scene that I styled. The greenery in the back is actually squares of fake grass that I got at the dollar store. I thought they would make such a fun and colorful background, and they're fake, so they're not going to die like real plants would. I also used a vase that I got at the dollar store, and I filled it with some fake flowers that I already had, as well as some of the greenery that I pulled off of the backdrop. The rest of the stuff in the scene are things that I already had, but the sunglasses are super cheap on Amazon. The straws are available for just a few dollars from places like Target, and the mason jar is just a plain mason jar that I painted the rim of for a video on my main channel. So if you're not throwing a party, you can of course use these to display photos or memorabilia or whatever you want in a more casual way than framing everything. I just love how they came out, and nobody will ever guess that they used to be alphabet blocks. blocks. So that was probably the most challenging challenge we have done yet on this channel. I am so curious to see what the other girls are going to come up with. Let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas for projects that you could do with wooden blocks like these, because it was $1 for 10 of them. So for 10 cents each, it's a pretty cheap and versatile craft supply. So if you want to see another challenge week like this, we recently did a thrift store challenge where we all redid some sort of piece of furniture. I'll link that entire playlist down below, and make sure you stay tuned all week long to see the rest of our dollar store party decor challenge. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all again next week. Bye everyone!